Welcome. Welcome. Welcome back to the weekend preview. I got my swivel chair here. I'm Cole McElwain. I am here, and the weekend is about to be here. Two awesome races that we're taking a look at today, this afternoon, this morning, whenever you guys watch this show. We have the Full Moon Vista Cross in Rochester, New York, and a few thousand miles away overseas, we have the World Cup opener in the Netherlands. Let's get right down to business. The weather this weekend. For both of those races, thousands of miles apart, but very similar conditions expected. About 60 degrees, 30 to 40% chance of rain, not just on race day, but in the days leading up to the race. So, fingers crossed, we might get our first slick, sloppy, muddy race of the season. The course preview, I'm not going to lie, I'm not an expert on either of these courses. Rochester, New York, never been to that race, and the Netherlands, it's not like it's down the street, can't really check it out. But one thing I have heard about both of these courses is that they are very hilly. Rochester, I don't know, there's just hills. There's hills in New York, okay? Just believe it. Over in the Netherlands, part of this course finishing or includes part of the finish for that Amstel Gold race, one of the road spring classics. So you guys know all about that one. You know what to expect there. If it's muddy, could make that even more treacherous. The start lists. If you guys check out down below, we'll have links to the full start sheet so you can follow along. But overseas, honestly, not the best field we've seen. All the top European riders are there, but from a North American standpoint, we're kind of lacking a little bit. You saw last season, we had the Louisville World Championships here in the United States. Everybody was chasing those World Cup points, trying to get start position, trying to get experience racing over there, and ultimately qualify for that World Championships team. This year, there's a little bit of a lull after the World Championships. In the men's race, we have your lone U.S. representative, Jonathan Page, who lives over there full time. He'll be going up against Sven Nys, your defending world champion, Martin Bina, just a whole bunch of super fast Euro riders. Honestly, we'll see how they shuffle out after this. They don't really consider the start to the season over there until the first World Cup. So we'll see who's got their A game and who maybe needs to work on some stuff. On the women's side of things, your defending world champion, your recently crowned road world champion, pretty much your champion of all women's racing that has ever had a race for women, is Marianne Vos. She will be there along with your defending World Cup winner and U.S. rider, Katie Compton. Some other great riders to check out, especially for a North American's interest. We will have Meredith Miller there, Katie Antonou, a top 10 rider from the World Championships last year, the Cannondale Cyclocross World rider, along with some of those British riders like Helen Wyman, Gabby Duran, who spent their start to the season here in North America. Keep an eye out for them. Logan Owen going to be tearing it up in his first season of U23 racing, going up against his arch nemesis, Vanderpool, in the Netherlands. So lots of great racing to follow over there. On the other side of that coin, back here in North America, we're going to have a pretty interesting field over in Rochester. If you're a real cyclocross fan, Powers not going to be there, Tim Johnson not going to be there, Ryan Trebone not going to be there, but that next level down, like not even B-level riders, like A-minus level riders or A-level riders that have been a little bit off their game, pretty much people who need the points. This is one of those cherry picker races where if you can't get points at a big race like Boulder or Providence or Gloucester, this is where you go to try and get those valuable UCI points to up your game a little bit, up your start position, and ultimately get some exposure on the top level. So, guys like Zach McDonald. McDonald, one of the best riders we have here in North America, but right now I think if you look back at the rankings, maybe ranked 20th or something on who's number one, so hasn't had a great start to the season. Look for him. He could easily come out this weekend, though, flip that switch and take 2 UCI wins. He's going to be going up against Canadian Raphael Gagne, who also has 2 UCI wins to his name, or excuse me, 1 UCI win to his name already this season. Mike Garrigan will be there, and then some of those next level down riders that could surprise at a smaller race like this. We got Stephen Hyde, a UCI winner already, Anthony Clark, both of the Jam Fund team. And then you got guys like Adam Meyerson coming out who, when it's a small group like that, when he gets a good start near the front, can have a very good race. One rider that I'm very excited about is Nick Keogh. If you guys are familiar with the Keogh family, you know they're very good at cyclocross. Nick, I've always thought, was maybe the most talented cyclocross racer in that family. He's had some really great success in the past, really struggled over these last 2 to 3 seasons, but he seems to be on that upswing, guys. If he can get it together, he could be one of those riders instantly like a Danny Summerhill or Zach McDonald that we talk about as the next generation of U.S. cyclocross. On the women's side of that field, 3 riders that I'm paying attention to. Mo Bruno Roy could be good on a hilly course, could be very good if it's muddy. Laura Van Gilder, arguably the strongest, the biggest name in that race, but if it's muddy, if it's hilly, she could falter there. And then the Canadian rider, Natasha Elliott, who, sort of like a Nick Keogh, has had great seasons in the great seasons in the past, has really struggled a little bit in the last couple of seasons, but she has been good this year as well. Your SRAM key to the race, let's bring it up. Your SRAM key to the race this weekend, fingers crossed, is going to be the mud. How do you deal on the slick conditions? We've had a little bit of mud. Over in Europe, they've had a few already, but not all the guys have raced. We've had one here. I guess Providence Day 2 was a little bit slick, but hopefully the skies open up and we have just a total slop fest out there. So the key to the race will be who's got their handling skills ready. You've been on your cross bike now for a few weeks, but are you really ready to get down in the slop, make the corners when they matter, especially in Rochester where some of these riders are going to be in a new position, going for points or going for the win with the pressure on the line? Do they have their tires ready to go? Have they been practicing bike exchanges with their mechanics? Are the mechanics ready to go? Have they been practicing taking care of bikes in the mud? So that will be very interesting to see. I'm getting tired, guys. This has been a long week. It's been a long season. I think a lot of guys like Powers, Trebone, everyone excited. Some of those guys for a weekend off, but everybody else, it's time to rally. It's time to get together. I'm going out to Rochester myself. I will check you guys out there. Go ahead, look down below if you're watching this on BTB TV. We have links to the weather, the start sheets, the Twitter hashtags. You can follow the Facebooks that you can look at, links to all of our different shows. If you're watching this somewhere else, Cyclocross Magazine, I think Velo News. If we're on Velo News, that's pretty cool. What's up, Velo News? Look at that. It's all like red and stuff. There's probably not a link down there because they don't have links, but you guys can go up to your browser, behindthebarriers.tv, check it out. We've had some great shows all week long. Behind the Barriers, Sam's show from Providence. We've had my favorite show, Who's Number One, on Tuesday. Wednesday, we had a great recap from the Colorado races. That was also a great show. Thursday, yesterday, that was a great show too, how the race was went. Today's come to think of it, I was in all the shows this week. They were all great shows. Whatever. Thank you for joining us, guys. We will see you next week.